Ooh, my final thought to the audience. Well, find someone who works with horses, me preferably, and, and just learn about yourself through the power of horses. Take advantage of that, and um, you know, listen to your intuition. It knows the way.
Welcome to Inspired Choice today. I'm your host, Caroline Biesalski, here to bring you authentic stories, surprising lessons, and powerful takeaways to fuel your journey in business and life. In each episode, I'll take you from one inspiring guest to the next, blending their experiences with my expertise to uncover practical strategies you can use right away. Whether you're starting out or stepping up, stay tuned for insights and actionable tips that make a difference. And stick around until the end for a special freebie just for our listeners. Hello and welcome, Inspired Podcast community. This is your new episode. My name is Caroline and my today's guest is Nancy McKay. So happy to see you here. How are you doing today?
I'm very well. Thank you so much for having me.
Wow, thank you so much. And I would love to introduce you to the audience, of course. You are a certified Wayfinder life coach, and now it comes Equus. I know it's Latin also, coach, master facilitator, but you have to help me with the pronunciation. Is it?
Equus.
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 And She Recovers Coach. You founded amazing Outlook Coaching, empowering women in recovery with the guidance of horses. A two-time best-selling author and ovarian cancer survivor, you share your inspiring journey of resilience and healing. Welcome to the Inspired Podcast, Nancy McKay.
Thank you so much.
Wow. And my first question is, how has working with horses influenced your approach to coaching women in recovery?
Well, the beauty about horses is that they don't lie, they don't have an agenda, they don't care who you are, how you're dressed, how much money you have. They just reflect back to you the energy that you're putting out into the world. And so when you are struggling, and especially with substance abuse or something similar, then your energy is usually conflicted, right? You want to be one way, but you're showing up a different way. And so that is mirrored back to you as a participant and me as the coach. So it's something that helps me determine what to ask questions about, how deep to dig, and how to allow the client to discover things about themselves that they had not seen before. And so it's really an effective and revealing exercise, and it's magic. I believe that horses are magic, and I love working with them.
Oh, thank you so much for sharing. And me too. I think they are amazing animals. And I remember I attended a seminar 5 years ago. It was before COVID when when we had live seminars or something like that. And it was with horses. And I cannot remember what they did. I was not coached. I was observer of
Right?
the situation, but it was a situation, and also people they were afraid of horses as well. And then something happened. The horse responded to something, and the coach interpreted the reaction, I would say. And
Exactly.
yeah, something like, so you are doing something like that.
Exactly right. Yep.
It,
Exactly right. And let me ask you, as the observer, what did you get out of the experience? Were you able to relate to what the person being coached was going through, and were you able to relay that back to anything in your life?
Yes, absolutely. I would say from the point of view today, I would say, oh, what a pity I didn't took the chance because because it was like volunteering, or you could say, oh, I want to be next or something. I don't know, but I was so shy, 5 years ago. I was sitting there and hoping not to be detected or no, really, I was and then it was in an environment there were very few people, and I was deceived because I expected like a show, more like a show with more
Ah,
people, but there were like 20 or I don't know 30 people. But and I thought, oh my God, I have to go on stage, or I have to interact with the horse. But I'm not a person afraid of horses. I did horse riding when I was a kid, but it was about the reaction. And you asked me that. It was really interesting. It was coaching, and also I think she called herself like horse whisperer or something like that. And it was really new in Germany at that
huh.
time,
Yep.
so I was confused about about all the setting. It was too intimate for me.
Ah,
Like I could not open
yeah.
up. Or
Yeah.
so
It
yes,
it it can be a very intimate and revealing process, and that's why it's so effective.
yes. My coaching journey started 2 years later
Right.
with Bob Proctor. It was not with horses, but I see the value, and I'm surprised and excited that we speak
Yeah.
together about that today. And
Yeah.
of course, I have another question for you.
Okay.
And what are some key lessons you've learned from your personal journey through addiction, recovery, and cancer?
Well, some of the biggest lessons I think that I've gotten have been, you're never too old to change your life. I was 52 years old, which isn't old by any stretch, but I was 52 when I got sober. I was 58 when I was diagnosed with cancer. And I was 61 when I started training to become a life coach, because I knew that I wanted more out of my life, that I wanted to be able to help people and do work that fed my soul. And so, at the when a lot of people are planning their retirement, I was planning my next career. And so I think that, and now I'm almost 68 years old, 68 in February. And so, you know, I feel like I'm just getting started. And it's, so I think that's probably the biggest lesson, is that you can do whatever your heart desires if your wish is big enough, and that you shouldn't put off things that you want to accomplish or things that you want to do, because there's no time like the present. One thing that I love is I've got a little saying, and it says, "One day or day one, you decide." Right, and so it's, you can put things off to, someday I'll do that, or you can grab life by the horns and go for it. And I think that's one of the biggest things that I've gotten out of it, and one of also the biggest things that I've learned about myself, was that I could actually do that. And so it was huge for me to realize that, I can make things happen and have my own back. And so I think those are probably the biggest lessons. Um, and I'm really, I'm pretty proud of myself for taking the chance.
Wow, thank you so much for sharing. And I have to say, congratulations, of course, for being sober. There are so many people out there not making this decision, or let's say they choose one day instead of day one. It's not funny,
Right.
but it's funny that I implement your new quote immediately. And I'm so happy that we speak today, yes, about that. And it's very encouraging what you shared about your new career, because yeah, you're never too old. It's just a decision, right? And the name of the podcast is Inspired Choice. So you have the choice, and this is the most important thing to know,
Yeah,
right?
exactly. Exactly.
Wow. I'm
And I was
inspired.
inspired by a lot of people that you know um, that encouraged me and excuse me, motivated me to follow my dream.
Yes. So what would you say? Because you said there were people encouraging you. You are or you became a life coach. You are doing coaching. So so do you have coaches and mentors for yourself? And who was the best coach you ever had?
Oh my goodness. Um, I've had some amazing coaches. Uh, Many of them were instructors who taught me coaching, and I've worked with the same group of coaches um, for my entire training. Many of my life coaching instructors were also my Equus coaching instructors, and so the continuity of process and uh, practicality, the just bringing everything to life um, has really been helpful. And so they, of course, were very inspiring and motivating for me. One of my instructors is slightly older than me, and so I felt like, well, if she can, if she can do this, so can I. And so that helped me kind of set a goal for myself. And then I've worked with some other, really great coaches, business coaches, and so on and so forth. But, as far as um, inspiring people, I really look up to Brene Brown and Michelle Obama. I mean, these women have come from normal lives and have achieved greatness. And not that I, not that I'm shooting for greatness, but they exemplify what living an authentic life looks like. And so for me, that is really inspirational. And and I'm lucky to have worked with some great coaches who have done the same thing for me. So I'm not sure if that answers your question.
Yes, absolutely, because it aimed at the importance to emphasize the importance to accept help and support it. To yeah, to have a coach in your life when you want to become one. Of
Right.
course, you learn from the people that are, let's say, one step or more ahead of you. And you mentioned Michelle Obama. I adore her too. I remember the book Becoming, and
Yes.
also yeah, I think I read the autobiography of Barack Obama. Of course,
Yes.
it was years ago. I think it was, oh, I don't know, not 20 years ago, but yes, something like that. And they were both, or they were both lawyers. So
Mm-hmm.
it's like what you say, a normal career or something, and then something shifted, and they made a decision to become great. Yes, there's this book as well, from good to great or something. It's
Yep.
also a great inspiration. Thank you so much. And I have another question, of course. What advice would you give to women seeking to rebuild and thrive after life-changing experiences?
Ooh, what advice would I give? Okay, so one of the things that I've learned, and as um, a life as a people pleaser, it took me a long time to understand that I could tap into and listen to my intuition, and that listening to your inner wisdom is the most important thing you can do. And that's difficult when you have been a people pleaser all of your life, right? Because you tend to tune out your intuition and your inner wisdom and listen only to the masses, right? And what is going to take care of other people rather than taking care of what I need in this moment and what I need to learn, right? So I think the biggest piece of advice I would give anyone is to learn how to listen to what your inner wisdom is trying to tell you, and that happens in a variety of ways. They call it what does your gut say, and that's intuition. And um, so listening to what your body tells you is an incredible tool if you learn how to listen to it. One of Martha Beck, who founded the Wayfinder life coach training program, which I went through, she famously says, I won't teach you anything about yourself that you don't already know deep down. I will help you pull back the layers, like the onion peel, right? I will help you discover what it is that you know deep down, because you may not be able to tap into that yet, right? And that's where I was. And so that's what I tell my clients, is that, you already have the answers. I'm going to just help you find them. And so I think that's the biggest piece of advice, is learn how to tap into your intuition.
Oh, thank you so much for sharing. I understand. And I would like to know, when you work with horses, do they help you to connect to your intuition more?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Because you can feel it on a cellular level. You when they give you feedback, you can just feel it in your body. It's truly incredible. I just had an incredible experience last week in Arizona. I was at my herd gathering, and I I had an incredible encounter, and it was magic. It was truly magic, and uh, it really cuts through the noise and helps you really. The light bulb's going on in my head as I speak. It really helps you connect with what's important.
Wow. Thank you so much. Because I think this is the next question. I think also about authenticity, and that, yeah, you mentioned it in the beginning. You cannot hide from the horse, what the horse perceives about you, right? Mhm.
Exactly. Exactly. Yeah. If you have a conflict going, they pick up on that incongruency and they won't connect with you because they won't trust you because you're not aligned with yourself. And so they won't connect. And so it's not until you acknowledge your truth, when you land on that, our body instinctively relaxes when you land on your truth, even if it's a negative truth, right? You've landed on it. And so your body just instinctively relaxes. And the horse picks up on that. They pick up on that shift in your energy, and then they will connect because they trust you now, because you have landed on your truth. And that and they show that they have relaxed as well by doing things like dropping their head or licking and chewing or rolling on the ground, because they don't do that unless they feel safe. And so that's when those things happen. And so then you know that they're picking up on authentic energy, is when they do things like that show that.
Wow, I love that. Thank you so much. Now I have to think about attending an event
I think so.
again, or having this coaching session I missed
Yeah.
5 years ago. I
Yeah.
was not open, I told you. And where can we find you when people want to reach out to you after listening to this episode?
Well, they can find me on my website, which is amazingoutlookcoaching.com. And I would just love to visit with anybody. And if they have any questions, please get in touch. I love talking about horses and recovery and all the things.
Oh, I love that. Thank you so much for your offer. Please reach out to Nancy. She's amazing. And I have one last question for you. It is about, and you mentioned already, you set goals for yourself, or maybe intentions. And what is what is one of your next goals or projects?
Well, I'm so glad you asked. I've just actually been working on that this morning, and one of the things uh, that is really on my wish list is I am going to be putting together retreats for women in recovery, and so I'll be doing some retreats in the states this next year, and hopefully internationally in 2026. So I'm really looking forward to doing that, and I'm just very excited. I've facilitated a She Recovers retreat this past year, and am doing that again next year. And so I just am looking forward to doing some traveling and retreating and helping and all the things.
Wow, what a great idea. I love
Yeah.
that. I love
Yeah.
retreats with horses.
Yes.
Great. I
Yes.
never heard of it before, but I'm sure it exists. And of course, it exists in the world. It is you. You are the go-to person. Now we know where to go. And yeah, and thank you so much for our interview. Now is time for your final thoughts to the audience, please.
Ooh, my final thought to the
Yeah.
audience. Um, well, find someone who works with horses, me preferably, and, and just learn about yourself through the power of horses. Take advantage of that, and um, you know, listen to your intuition. It knows the way.
That's the best message. Listen to your intuition. And working with the horses helps us with that.
Yes,
Nancy
it
is
does.
the go-to person. Please reach out. She shares her wisdom. I'm so happy about our interview. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. It's really been a delightful conversation.
Oh, thank you. And see you in the next episode. Thank you for listening to Inspired Choice today. I'm thrilled to have you on this journey of growth and transformation. Don't forget to hit follow or subscribe to stay connected and never miss an episode. And here's something special. Grab your free 20-minute breakthrough session with me. It's designed to help you kickstart or level up your business. Just check out the show notes for more. Until next time, keep making those inspired choices and see you in the next episode.